First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to First City Focus. I'm your host, Dave Foster, and in this episode, we'll talk with organizers of a June event celebrating Juneteenth in Knox County. And we'll show you how Vincennes University is giving high school students hands-on experience in healthcare and surveying. And we'll take you inside the Wabash Valley Friendship Clubhouse, where leaders and members recently celebrated an anniversary. And we'll highlight a first-time fundraiser designed to support local grief services and take you to a regional pet adoption event where families met and took home a furry friend. All these stories and more right now on First City Focus. While July 4th marks the nation's independence, Juneteenth represents the moment that freedom was fully extended to all Americans. And this year's Freedom Day celebration in Vincennes will honor that legacy with music, food, and community. It'll be at the McGrady Brockman House in Vincennes. And joining us to talk about the event are organizers Tom Bartholomew and Jonna Murphy. And thank you folks for being here with us today.
Of course.
So Tom, let's kind of review what the Black History Project is. Got started about 3 years ago, right?
It did get started about 3 years ago. The Black History Preservation Project got started in Knox County because we have at the McGrady Brockman House court records dating back to the late 1700s. Late 1700s was before Indiana was a state. It was before Indiana was a territory. So at the McGrady Brockman House, we have some of the most significant and oldest court records in the area, and a lot of those court records have to do with this area's own Black history, and it's very significant Black history.
So what's the community's response been to the project over the past 3 years?
It's been really good. I think the community is glad to know how big their history is and how inclusive their history is. There's really a lot of significance to the Black history and all the history, and now we're looking at being able to tell the whole story.
And again, you're located at the McGrady Brockman House.
That's right.
So why'd you choose that building?
Well, that's where the library, the Knox County Public Library's historical and genealogical archive, and as such, we house a lot of the old records there, old records going back to, like I said, 1790. And once you start digging through these records or even looking at them, you realize the significance of the history. So when you're in the McGrady Brockman House, there's no other place to have this project.
And folks can go in and tour that? Or?
They can. If they have questions about history or their own genealogy, they can walk on in and they can ask Richard or Jim or Cindy, and they will assist them in looking up, their family histories or genealogy or just other history that they might be interested in. Vincennes has a lot of history, and it's a great place to work.
So who are the key people or groups involved in the project?
In the Black History Preservation Project?
Yeah.
Well, we've got the Black History Preservation Project guidance team, and we meet there every Thursday. And that's how we sort of decide what directions we're going to go with our initiatives.
So, and Juneteenth is in June, of course. June
Yes.
the 19th. So kind of run us through what that is.
Well, sure. The first Juneteenth was in 1865, and that's when the Union soldiers entered Galveston, Texas, and that is generally considered when the last of the enslaved people in America were considered free. Generally considered. There were probably some hangers-on after that, but that's when the last, generally accepted as when the last enslaved people were freed June 19, 1865. Now, to put that in perspective and in some context, the Emancipation Proclamation was issued on June 1st, 1863, and that declared that all enslaved people in the Confederate States would be free. But the Civil War didn't end till April 9th, 1865. So Juneteenth actually happened after the end of the Civil War. Now, to put this all in a framework, what is known as the Reconstruction Amendments all happened around then or just following the Civil War. So the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, and that was in 1865. In 1868, the 14th Amendment gave citizenship to all people born in the United States. And so that really had a big effect when you consider the transatlantic slave trade and who was born here and who came over, and or who was brought over, I should say. And the 15th Amendment gave Black Americans the right to vote, and that was ratified in 1870. So those three amendments really create the framework for what, were the follow-up for what happened following the Civil War.
And actually the fight and the advocacy for freedom for Black Americans actually started much earlier than that in Knox County.
It really did. It started right here in Knox County in a big way. It's very exciting to be at McGrady Brockman and have access to the actual documents because it all went down here. It all played out here. While the 13th Amendment says neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist within the United States, that was in 1865, but it was 70 or 80 years before then that same verbiage appeared in the Northwest Ordinance, and that applied right here in Knox County. Same verbiage appears in the Indiana State Constitution, again, years before the 13th Amendment. So in writing the 13th Amendment, a lot of those cues were taken from things that happened right here in Indiana.
Wow. So that's what makes Black history so unique in Knox County. I mean, we're one of the first cities, of course, one of the first county settlements in the U.S., so having it start here is just phenomenal.
It is, and there's numerous examples where some extremely significant legal proceedings happen as far as Black people petitioning for their own freedom from slavery or indentured servitude. And it's easy to think that, well, that stuff only happened in Philadelphia, or that stuff only happened in Washington, D.C. But it didn't. It happened right here in Vincennes. And people don't accept that. They don't understand it. Now, there's a lot of pride to be taken because some very significant things happened here. People gained their freedom here, or because of things that were initiated here. Polly Strong, Mary Clark, Judah, all these people petitioned for their freedom in the Knox County court system with abolitionist lawyers at their side. And there's some amazing history that needs to be told, and it's so interesting.
And we're going to celebrate that history coming up on June 28th for Freedom Day. And Jonna, you're one of the organizers for that. So tell us what's going to happen on the 28th.
So there's going to be it's an all-day event. Tim's Barbecue is going to come out and feed the people. It's known for the best barbecue in the tri-state area. We're going to have that. He has like pulled pork steak sandwiches, Philly cheesesteaks, like all the barbecue you can think of, he got it. And then throughout the whole day, the garden tours, you can tour the garden that's behind McGrady Brock House. They are, it's called the Grove City Teaching Garden, and it's a self-guided event where you can go look at different plants and herbs and produce that was relevant to African American history. Or whether they came over like by the ship from West Africa, or even, use an ingredient in a favorite recipe from a church recipe. It brings you back to the earlier times when all they had was the produce. There wasn't any like manufactured things, like they had to grow it themselves. And then at 10:30 we'll have a Haitian cooking demo. So if you like Creole cooking, you want things to smell good in your house, this is the place to be to learn that. And Nadej is from God's Graded Boutique in Vincennes, and Tiffany Marinaka of Knox County Public Library. They'll be doing that learning cooking demo as well. And then at 12, Larry Curry will do a historical presentation within the house, McGrady Broxman House, and Black's history is what we're all about. We're here to, get the Black history known, and that's why the preservation project happened, is to get Black history known, not even just in like Knox County, but it also reaches over to Lawrence County as well, and Illinois as well as that too. But he's there to, we're glad to have Larry on board. He gives information out to where it really captivates people, draws people in so they know the history and how it came about, and the way he presents this historical, it's pretty amazing. And it will, you come in, you learn, and you go back out smarter than you never known before.
That's the goal, is to learn.
Yes.
And this is the first year you've had this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first year that we've had Freedom Day. And it's a blessing to be a part of it. And then we'll have music around about 1, and it's called Be From Soul in Deep Pocket. And they're from Evansville, and they have amazing work from there. So,
well, hey, we thank you all for being here. And again, that starts at 10 o'clock, right?
Yes.
10 o'clock, McGrady Brockman House on June 28th, celebrate Freedom Day.
Yes.
All right, so thank you both again for being here with us
course.
today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's more information about Juneteenth, the Freedom Day Festival, and Black History Preservation Project at our Vincennes PBS websites and YouTube channel. The school year may be in the books, but learning and hands-on experience are still in session at Vincennes University. High school and middle school students recently came to campus for the Future Healers Camp and the Surveyors Camp. Adam Reinhardt shows us how these hands-on experiences are helping teens discover their paths and possibilities.
High school and middle school students looking to make a career choice are taking advantage of their time away from the classroom by attending summer career camps at Vincennes University. These camps are offering hands-on experience that allow students to see what the careers are all about. It is a great way for students to learn about what careers are offered and to help them make decisions about their college choices. Earlier this month, we had an opportunity to visit 2 of the camps. The Future Healers Camp took place at the VU Center for Health Sciences. It was for students entering grades 7 through 10 that are interested in healthcare careers. This camp was held as a partnership between Vincennes University and Good Samaritan Hospital.
It's very important to make students aware of the different options for healthcare so that they can find something that is comfortable for them. We like to show them that there's different career paths if they're not interested in working directly with patients, but they still like medical things. They can go through health information management. If they like to do a lot of the physical activity, they can work with PTA. So it's very important because that will help them be successful.
I'd like to go into the medical field when I get older, so I figured this would be a nice little thing to start practicing.
The camp included a wide variety of healthcare topics, including nursing, physical therapy, and pharmacy technicians. It was a great opportunity for the campers to see the many different paths available.
We've done a little experiment to where we made this sunburn relief stuff. We've done where you have to figure out the roots and prefixes and suffixes of the medical terminology.
I was kind of thinking physical therapy because I wanted to go into not the gory part of it, but simple but still has to do with the body.
Campers found their experience very educational, but there were some added goodies that the campers liked too.
What's been the best thing about the camp so far?
I think the food the food was really good.
The second camp we visited saw high school students gathered along Red Skelton Boulevard for the surveying camp. Campers learned about land surveying with hands-on measuring and drafting projects using surveying equipment, and they also learned about career opportunities. This camp offered the chance for the students to obtain college credit.
My old diving coach, I used to dive for 2 years, and he's into surveying. And he told me about the camp, and I looked into it and thought it would be a great thing to do because this is a field that interests me.
Program Director Jessica Hess says the camp is important because the field itself is getting desperate for young, new employees.
So the average age of a surveyor is about 60 years old now in Indiana and across the United States. So we are desperately trying to bring in new surveyors as much as we can to grow the number that we have, because it's taking the general public longer and longer to be able to get surveys done if they want to buy a house, if they want to build something. So it's definitely needed.
In addition to learning about careers, campers learn some vital teamwork skills.
Definitely a lot of teamwork, especially with doing different kind of roles in some of these assignments, especially when mapping some of this stuff out. There's different types of things that you can do at the same time to really speed up the process of doing these things. Yeah.
Learning doesn't stop between May and August, so these middle and high school students took advantage of these 2 camps to check out what could be in their future and what career path they may follow. For First City Focus, I'm Adam Reinhardt.
For more details on upcoming camps this summer at VU, go to vinu.edu/camps. It's been nearly 5 years since the Wabash Valley Friendship Clubhouse first opened its doors in Vincennes, and this year they have big reasons to celebrate. We recently attended an open house at the facility to see how far it's come and what sets it apart. Marianne McDaniel tells us more.
The Wabash Valley Friendship Clubhouse started in late 2020 as a modest space for adults living with chronic mental illness to connect, contribute, and find community. Now, nearly 5 years later, the Clubhouse is celebrating their anniversary and national accreditation from Clubhouse International, as well as a growing membership that reflects just how vital this space has become. They don't call it a clubhouse by accident. This is a place where connection is the goal and labels stop at the door.
You know, they're going to feel more safer coming here than they would going to another social place here in town. And so it's real helpful for them to have a place they feel like they can come to and know they're going to be heard.
Since its beginning in a 700 square foot home, the clubhouse has expanded to a custom designed 4,800 square foot space. Each day, around 30 members walk through the doors. They don't come for treatment. They come to participate and to help run the clubhouse and support one another. Members help run daily operations and encourage each other in a flexible, come-and-go environment. The nonprofit clubhouse features a kitchen, snack shop, laundry room, conference room, a garden area, and a public thrift store.
There are so many ways our clubhouse can help members of our community. There are so many things that we do and help our members succeed and thrive in. And that's what's great about Clubhouse. There's no set program. We are able to tailor each member's dream, mission, and goal and the path to get there to what they want to achieve. And that is so incredible.
That kind of personalized support is exactly why the Wabash Valley Friendship Clubhouse earned national accreditation from Clubhouse International. And it's more than a recognition, it's a reflection of the work being done here every day. Each task is more than just work, it's a step towards confidence, connection, and a daily purpose. For member Cindy Arthur, the Clubhouse has been life-changing. After the isolation of the pandemic, it became a place where she felt seen again and even inspired. This spring, Cindy was one of 7 Clubhouse members who submitted artwork to a statewide contest hosted by the Indiana Department of Health and Mental Health Association as part of Mental Health Awareness Month. She earned runner-up honors in the senior division, along with a small cash prize. That drawing and several more, along with the artwork from other members, is now part of the Clubhouse decor.
It's a wonderful place. I wish more people could experience us, and what we stand for. Come in and meet us. Realize that we are the same as everybody else. We just need to stop the stigma.
Stereotypical ideas about mental illness often keep people at a distance, but that starts to break down the moment someone walks through the door.
Because isolation is a terrible thing. And just coming here breaks that isolation. Now, they may come here and do nothing. That's okay. But we just want them here. Because that may be all that they can do, is to just get up out of bed and come here. And that's okay. Because that's a place to start, and we commend them for that and pat them on the back and cheer them on. 3 months later, they may be making a pot of coffee or out taking care of the plants in the garden or whatever. Before, they weren't doing anything. They were just laying in bed because they were depressed or their anxiety level was too high.
To keep the mission going, the Clubhouse relies on more than member participation. Fundraising and community support are essential, especially for a program that isn't fully funded through insurance or any one source. Their thrift store helps raise some of the needed funding, but one of the biggest events of the year is Dancing with the Vincennes Stars. It's a night of music, competition, and community. The yearly tradition continues to grow. This year's lineup includes 4 women and 2 couples set to perform.
Just the atmosphere and the camaraderie and the support our community gives to the mental health industry and Clubhouse is phenomenal, and we are just so thankful for all the support.
But for those who have found their footing here, Dancing with the Vincennes Stars is more than dancing. It's about being seen and heard.
We have a speakers bureau. We'll have a member at Dancing with the Vincennes Stars. She'll share her story and what the Clubhouse means to her, because that's what it's all about. When we have that fundraiser, I'll get up there and I'll talk to you for 20 minutes about what we do. You don't want to know what I do. You want to know what the Clubhouse does for her or for the members. And so she'll get a time to spotlight herself and her story.
Local health leaders describe the Clubhouse as a critical part of the region's behavioral health response, meeting a growing mental health need that exists locally, statewide, and across the nation.
Over the last 2 years, they've increased their daily census or their daily visits from Clubhouse members from 11 up to 27. I mean, that tells you everything, how important it is and how much need's out there for this.
At its core, this Clubhouse isn't just about mental health service. It's about building real community without labels.
You come in here with no preconceived notions. You come in here, you're not getting therapy. You're coming in here as a member of a club that allows you to be friends with people that otherwise you may not even know.
It's that sense of connection without judgment that keeps many members going even through their darkest moments.
Probably wouldn't be here because I was to the place with COVID came on and we were all isolated. And when I had to be isolated and I couldn't get out, my depression started dropping really quick. And so literally, I think if Clubhouse wasn't here, I wouldn't be here.
At Wabash Valley Friendship Clubhouse, healing doesn't happen all at once, but it does happen every day through purpose, routine, and belonging. For First City Focus, I'm Mary Ann McDaniel.
Now, the Clubhouse also offers a transitional employment program. They partner with local businesses, providing short-term, part-time job opportunities for members. And for more information on that, just contact the Clubhouse. The Hospice and Palliative Care Department at Good Samaritan is trying to change the public's perception of their work. They offer grief services for the entire community free of charge and even host a camp for kids who've experienced the loss of a loved one. They recently hosted a family fun fair in order to raise funds for their mission. Education and Community Outreach Coordinator Allison Bowers was there.
We are having our family fun fair. It is the first year that we have done this. We are putting it on through Hospice and Palliative Care through Good Samaritan. And we are doing this as a fundraising event for our grief support services that we put on free to the community all year. We wanted to raise some funds for those events by doing something that's a little more lighthearted, fun, that everyone in the community could enjoy. Related to hospice or not, we provide grief support or bereavement support to anyone in the community. So you can just come refer yourself by calling our office. Your doctor can refer you, whether you had a patient on a loved one that was on hospice or just are experiencing loss. And then we do a kids grief camp, and that is put on every year, usually early fall. We put that on, and all of our bereavement services are free to the community and to our patient families, and the kids camp is entirely free. So everything we do related to grief or bereavement is put on entirely by donated funds from the community that we serve. We just think there's always things you can do in the community, and we were trying to think of what type of fundraising we would want to do. And we deal with a lot of emotional stuff, in hospice. Our staff does, and they deserve to do something fun. So the community deserves to have something fun, and we just thought this would be a good way to get our name out there in a positive light. They can come, meet our staff, and see us on a normal interaction, not, as a patient or as a family member of a patient. Always room for improvement on the things that we're currently doing. So every year we try to make our kids' camp a little bit better or offer a little bit more services for those kids. So that's our main focus, is camp, and what can we do that's a little bit bigger and better than we did last year. So that's our main focus, and just have a fun day.
For more information on the free services they provide, just visit their website, gshvin.org. And in our final focus for this episode, it was literally raining cats and dogs at the Southwestern Indiana Pet Adoption event held this June in Sullivan County.
So last year, about 9 to 10 organizations got together and we created a coalition. We're calling it the Southwestern Indiana Adoption Event. We are all working together to fight this animal overpopulation problem. And so we're getting together twice now to do low-cost adoptions. All the pets that we're adopting out are spayed, neutered, vaccinated, microchipped, and they're ready to go, and we're discounting those fees for the public.
How did you hear about Max? Where did you see Max first?
On the website for the shelter.
How did you know he was going to be here today and not one of the dogs that they kept at the shelter?
I didn't. I was just hopeful.
So was it like kind of a decision, if he was here, it was a definite you were going to get him?
Yes, and he's just the sweetest boy, so.
If you can adopt, Shelters and Rescues always need support, whether that's in monetary donations, supply donations. Supplies can range from food, enrichment, treats, to cleaning supplies, paper towels, trash bags, bleach, Dawn, dish soap. People, don't think about laundry that we do, so we do a lot of laundry detergent helps. So any kind of donation that you can make, from a $1 donation to a $100 donation, goes a long way.
More kittens and puppies seem to be born in the spring and summertime, and you can help those without a home by adopting or donating funds and supplies to your local animal shelter. And that's all for this edition of First City Focus. For everyone here at Vincennes PBS, I'm Dave Foster, and we'll see you next time.
First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence, promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.